Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are live. Thank you for joining me. I'm just waiting for a few people to get in and then we're going to go ahead and get into the topic. But I'm going to go ahead and get the preliminaries out of the way. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We currently have 260, hold on, 68 subscribers to our channel. Thank you. We appreciate your subscribership. Please make sure you be sure to click that notification button so that you receive notifications when we go live because it do be random, y'all. It do be random. The reason I don't do scheduled broadcasts is because people have different time schedules, and until we know what's the best time to engage our audience and our participants. We are just streaming whenever the unction, whenever I have the unction. I don't like to just be talking just to be talking or trying to cover a topic just because everybody else is doing it. And that is the reason a lot of people follow me. And they are echoing basically what I'm saying. And so they be waiting for me to go live so they can have some content for the day, week, or whatever. Some of them can take my long broadcast and stretch it out to 1,000 videos, 1,000 little small short videos and make it seem like they're really intelligent and get you to come to their channel. And so they may go to more than just my channel to extract ideas and steal intellectual property, but the point that's how they coming up on it, baby. That's how they coming up on it. They call swag swipers. Okay, they swiping people's swag and utilize it on their channel. The one thing I hate the most is to come across a channel that tell you how to get a lot of views and subscribers because they ain't gonna tell you the real reason they getting views and subscribers. They swag swiping. They swag swiping is stealing people ideas, not just mine. I saw a bitch on uh, Facebook and she done stole this man idea. He have his little pen and he tell jokes, but she ain't funny at all. Uh, she just going around basically echoing what somebody else said. She come across a video, she like what they said, she go and reword it. And she go and reword it and say it in her own words. You know, when I was coming up, my mother didn't just drag us to church, and we had devotions every day. And devotions, I know y'all don't have devotions with y'all children these days, but in the day we had what was called devotions. And during the time for devotions, what that time was for, uh, my mom would teach us a scripture verse. She wouldn't preach like a preacher. She would just she, do what she called let the spirit lead her as to what to teach us that day. And she would get one scripture because she understood that we as kids, and she wasn't trying to hammer us with a lot of information. She wanted us to uh, get quality information that we could comprehend. And so, what she required of us, sort of like as homework, or even right there on the spot quiz or exam of what we learned, she would ask us to say it in our own words, what we gathered out of what she said. Okay. And we would have to uh, demonstrate that we understood it in one way or another. All right. What the whatever the moral lesson was, we had to say it in our own words, and sometimes she will require for us to give examples of how it applied to our everyday life. Okay, because she was a very practical teacher, and she wanted you to understand how did that story, for example, about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, what did that have to do with your everyday life, and what could um you relate what she was teaching you? What could you relate it to in real life? And that's how I grew up to be a person that uh, understand biblical principles in realistic terms. And that's how I am able to give people answers to their questions with more of a solid foundation uh, and grounds for which they can easily reference their own understanding and say this makes absolutely this makes sense, or this doesn't make, she's right, this doesn't make sense. Because I teach people to analyze it for yourself. And that's why I say pay attention. Pay attention. Don't rely upon me to give you a understanding of something. I'm not trying to give you an understanding. Understanding, watch, they gonna copy off of this. Understanding is not given. All right. You can't give an understanding. The Bible says, in all thy getting, we talk about Bibles and bills on this channel, and it says, in all thy getting. It didn't say in all thy giving, give understanding. It says, in all thy getting. It say, get understanding. And that led me to believe that uh, no one can give you understanding. They may be able to break it down in the lowest terms where you can get it, okay? It's just like my pawpaw used to do with our pear tree. And he would tell me, get down out that tree, stop climbing up in that tree. That's why them ants be getting hold to you, because the ants will get up in our pear tree and try to eat our pears. But they was good and sweet. And so he tell me, get on out of there. And he would take the branch that he could reach and pull it down to you, because he understood that you wanted to pick your own. That was fun to pick your own. So he didn't want to take that joy from you. And so he would take the tree branch and bring it down, get it on your level. You understand? He get it on your level. And we would jump. You know how people swing at a pinata. And so we would jump and try to knock it down, but he would at least pull the branch down, and he was getting joy out of letting it go, bringing it back down, letting it go, bring it down. That's why I said kind of like a pinata. He snatch it out your way, out of your reach, so you can jump for it too. And if you get tired out there jumping and doing shit like that, then he ain't got to worry about no ADHD situation inside the house. He didn't mind jumping around and carrying out what they call carrying out outside. And that kind of tickled him to see us jumping. Mm. Oh, come on, Papa. Bring it down here. Bring it down here. And, and the little ones, he would, the very small ones, he would pick you up and 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 get it on your level, help you get on the level of the tree branch so you could reach your pair, the one you wanted. And it seemed like, a lot of times the littlest person picked the biggest fruit, you know. And then you had some that was attracted to the little one because they was a little one, you know. And so that's how knowledge or understanding is. Depending on where your mindset at, it don't have nothing to do with your size or your age of much, you know, your age. Maturity comes from you, and what type of understanding you get or comprehension you get. And I hear Yusuf saying all the time, uh, I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been doing this for a long time, like that. Vets him to have knowledge. Well, you could have been doing the wrong thing for a long time, which is what y'all been doing. Because if you changing it up now, obviously whatever the fuck you was doing in the past wouldn't work. Because I tell you what, I have no intentions on stop selling appliances, because selling appliances make me mad ridiculous money. And so no matter whatever else I do, I have no intentions on stopping that, because that's working. It works. It's gonna continue to work. And I understand that. Why would I change it up? I may change it up to add a different business type to my repertoire or my portfolio of investments, businesses and investments, but I'm not trying to remove nothing, because all my businesses make sense and they work. And you got a lot of people that come back later, even Patrick Devine, all the people they think is the great gurus. the great and almighty ones, they switch it up. Pay attention. Even Mouse's starting to talk about trust. What that got to do with the bills of exchange? The bills of exchange is so, well, it got something to do, but not really. Um, but the bills of exchange is uh, statutory, all right? Statutory, all right? That more country talking, but y'all know what I mean, statutory. And trust is based on common law. Them ain't even the same motherfucking things. That's why people is cruised. Yusuf is confused, bless his soul. He done got off of the UCC as well. His name of his business is Secured Party Creditor. And from what my understanding is that he originally was, when I found out about him, I should say, he was originally talking about how to become a secured party creditor. But I guess since none of his shit was working no more, because he don't know how to upgrade his knowledge in that kind, all right? He's a information junkie. He just jumped from one thing to other. He just come to my channel. Everything I talk about, last thing I talked about was AI. First, Master started talking about he got an AI mastery class. I'm trying to tell you, how you gonna master something that's stupid? Okay, but anyway, moving right along. He got a mastery class on how to be stupid. All right, him, and then Yusuf copied off of him in his stupidity, and now he claiming to have a mastery class in stupidity. All right, I'm talking about master class in AI, which is stupid. All right, it's stupid because the AI is stupid. It gives you wrong answers. It mix your information up, damn near get you put in jail. If you don't read what it told you to put in your document, and if you don't understand it, it could get you caught in the cross. The whole purpose you use I understand people use it like I do. It drafted stuff up real quick for you. But many times it drafted up so quick it didn't have any cognizant understanding of what the purpose of the draft was for. Every time I ask about any kind of documents, it tell me about what sovereign citizens is doing. And I told this stupid motherfucker the other day, stop telling me about what sovereign citizens is doing. I'm asking you questions to learn the proper way to uh, create legitimate instruments. Why would you then tell me about what uh, is considered to be an illegitimate movement? Uh, why would you tell me about that? That wasn't what the fuck I asked for. That was not what I asked for. That was the opposite of what I asked for. And uh, that's what I mean by AI is stupid. It's clearly called artificial intelligence for a reason. While all the dummies think they can perfect AI, will perfect or master the use of the AI. The AI is stupid. AI is a minor. All right. That's what I mean. It's a minor. It's a minor in intellectual competence because it's getting its information from stupid people. That's why I keep telling me about the stupid people. I reckon it's getting its stupid information from stupid people. The stupid people that created it. They created it to get information from you. And you stupid. So how that's why they all AI on Google AI always tell you about the sovereign citizen because it's stupid. Okay. Do I use it? Yes, I do. Do I recommend the use of it? No, I do not. Because you know how they say, and we say on this channel all the time, these videos are for mature audiences only. All right. The reason why we make that disclaimer is because we don't want no stupid people taking what we say and twist it around where it don't make sense no longer. It's no longer intelligible. All right, because that wasn't what I said in the first place. You understand? And that's what uh, the AI will do. And I've always, I mean, I've never seen it draft a document that I didn't have to correct a lot of shit on now. Because it's stupid, man. It's stupid. And then one time I took the information it gave me, put it back in there, and it asked me, well, what you want me to do with this? I want you to analyze the stupidity that you gave me. That's what the fuck I want you to do with it. I want you to, I gave you back a taste of your own damn medicine. Copy what you said. Output it because it can't talk, but what it output it and input it back in the doggone system and tell now you tell me what in the hell this means. And then it one time it realized that it gave me some fucked up information. Said, "Oops, I apologize. I'm gonna redraft that." And it gave me a disclaimer that it may make a mistake. Surely you did, and I caught it, homeboy, homegirl, whoever running that motherfucker. Because AI is stupid, and it's ran by a bunch of stupid people. What else can you get out of that but stupidity? Whoever got that alarm is a stupid motherfucker. Because when you hear people with these annoying ass alarms, I done said this before, that don't make you look to see who trying to break in their vehicle. It make you angry that they disturbing the peace. It makes you angry because you know 10 chances in one it ain't nothing but the car owner that done set off their own alarm. And that's not the purpose of an alarm. Alarm is supposed to alert the public on what's going on if somebody trying to break in your vehicle or whatever. Your alarm supposed to alert the public. It's not supposed to get on the public nerves and annoy your neighbors and stuff. But most of the time when you hear alarm, you get so angry that it's so loud and disturbing, you don't even look to see if somebody trying to break in your neighbor vehicle. You be angry with your neighbor for having that loud, disturbing alarm. Disturbing the peace. It's so nice and peaceful and quiet out here. Then all of a sudden you hear that shenanigan. It's annoying to say the least. Let's get to the broadcast. Let's see what we're going to talk about. All right. We're going to discuss, we're going to have this presentation of use of broadcast just a little bit. I'm getting to a point where I, I just, I don't know how many times I can tell you. I don't know how many ways I can explain or show you before you wake up and pay attention that a lot of these people giving false information pretending they smart, but they using big words because they know you don't understand them words. So you don't even know enough about what they saying to know if they telling you something right or wrong. A lot of people just depending on them and thinking they smart because they use the big word. And Yusuf used the big word the other day didn't even fit in the conversation. Further let me know because I know what the word meant. And he didn't. Obviously, else he wouldn't have used it in the wrong context and then berating the audience and telling them how stupid they are and how stupid we are. We is stupid for listening to his content. And if you haven't picked up that this nigga don't know what he talking about, you is stupid. But he don't need to get on his broadcast every day and tell you how stupid you is, and then uh, talk about pay for his classes when all he did was berate you and make you feel less than because you didn't understand them big words he was using. It was stupid if you're trying to relay an understanding to use big words. That's what the whole purpose of explaining is for. You supposed to break that shit down where the average person can know and understand what the hell you talking about. Otherwise, he could have just shut the fuck up on that topic. If you listen to a lawyer, they be using all kinds of words you don't understand because they using legal terms. Well, they have to use legal terms because they operating in a legal court. That's what they have to do. I mean, that's required of them to use those terms which are referred to as legalese, as because they are legal terms that help the judge understand on a legal basis what they present to them. And so you may not understand what they saying. Okay, that's understandable. But if you go to somebody's class that's supposed to be teaching you what in the heck the lawyers is talking about, uh, what the court is expecting of you, then you need that shit broke down in layman's terms where you can understand. I always say, I love God because I know He real, because when I didn't understand, I was born mentally retarded. So when I didn't understand things, I would ask Him, and He'd break it down to the lowest terms where I can understand it. And if God, being all knowing and all powerful, have uh, compassion enough for people who don't know, His children that don't know no better, and try to explain that to you on a level where you can understand it, who the hell He think He is? He calling himself El, that means God. That means He's supposed to be like God. That means He's supposed to be able to take those complex things and break that shit down where you can understand it. Not keep talking over your head and then tell you, come to my class so you can learn. Nigga, you supposed to tell me something right now to let me know you know what you talking about. And then I'll make a reasonable judgment whether I need to know more, or use or have some confidence in you that you may be able to explain this shit to me on my terms. I don't need no another motherfucker trying to talk over my head if I'm trying to learn. That don't make no sense at all. Learning only occurs at the point when you can relate to the understanding that's being given to you. When you, like people say, click in your head. When it click in your head, then you got it. Everybody else can get it and you didn't get it, because until it click in your head, or it's being said in a way where you can comprehend it, you can understand it. That's why the Bible saying all thy getting, get understanding. It didn't say get love. It didn't say get patience. It didn't say get joy. It said get an understanding so you can know what all them other things is. And so you don't think that love is only when people being nice and sweet to you. Love is true. Sometimes it get real and raw. You understand? And you might get uncomfortable. It's so real and raw. But that's real love right there. And that's where I come from. People that love you for real enough to tell you the truth. Whether you uh, get pleasure out of what they saying or not, that's not the point. The point is for you to get an understanding that you being loved the right way. You understand? You being cared for the right way. When I come home from school, my papa used to ask me, and he was illiterate, but he had learned the word productive and what it means. And so he'd ask us, what you learned productive today? He wasn't asking us, did we learn our ABCs or whatever. He was asking us, what did you learn that can help you right now or in the future? What did you learn from your curriculum at school? He was also probably trying to learn a little bit on too by us answering the question. And he would ask a lot of questions. You could say he was illiterate as far as he could not read, but he was a very intelligent man. He didn't speak much, but when he speak, everything he said was so profound because he gave a lot of thought to it. He didn't say things he didn't understand or know nothing about. He'll fold his arms on you and tell you quickly he don't know nothing about that. I don't know no. He fold his arms and say, I don't know nothing about that. Go ask your granny. She's smart. He knew who to refer you to, who got the answer. If I don't know something, I do like my granny do. If you ask her about a scripture, she said, "Well, baby, let's go to," if you ask her something about God and she don't know the answer to that, like what scripture cover that, she'll say, "Well, let's go to the Bible and see what the Bible say about it." Okay. And in law, they have what's kind of like a Bible. It's their rule book. Okay. The rules, the evidence is in there. The rules for summary judgment and the procedure and everything, the rules of procedure, how to go about that is in there. All the rules is in there. And so I saw a class that was created for people learning to practice law. And I love the way that uh, professor, or whatever he was, I love the way he went about teaching. He didn't act like he know everything, which he was very knowledgeable off the top of his head. Because many times you could tell because when he would go to the book, he would be right, but he wanted to make sure that he giving you the right answer. So he would say, let's go to book. This is what I'm teaching you. Whenever you have something you're not sure of, go to the book. Go to the rule book. The rules is in there. Okay. And then from there, if you're not understanding the practice of law in from the rule book, or you're not understanding the interpretation of that particular rule, then secondly, you could ask another, colleague. And I like that. I like that because he referenced you back to the book. And that is the reason why many times I will show the correlation between um, the Bible and the practice of law because it's in there. That's the original book, get there. And the professors or experienced lawyers that teach other lawyers sometimes don't even know. They'll say, I don't know where that came from. And I can tell them exactly what scripture, or more than one scripture that substantiate that rule, okay? Because they don't understand the correlation between the law, the rules and principles in the Bible, and the federal rules of procedure, because they don't even understand all law comes from God. And it was substantiated by the people. How was it substantiated by the people? Well, when you, most of the time people learn that a law exists when they break a law, okay? Um, we learn the rules of gravity. When you throw something out, it don't stay out. It fall down, right? So trying to make an airplane fly, you fold up a piece of paper and you try to shoot across the room. You learn at an early age, depending on how you crease that airplane and everything, determine how accurate you was to fly it across the room. Would it stay up in the air, or would would uh, it drop to the floor quickly? Because the law of gravity and force, all right, was at play. You may not have known that specifically, but you did learn that it's a certain amount of force you had to uh, apply in order for it to stay airborne or be accurate in the direction where you was trying to shoot it to. Because inevitably you understood that it's gonna come down, but you may have wanted it to go a little further across the room. And so, from practicing pitching that airplane, practicing over and over again pitching that airplane, you learn that you had to apply a certain amount of force. And sometimes you would apply too much force, you'll pop the person or somebody else that wasn't even you wasn't even trying to shoot the letter to or trying to hit them with the airplane, but because you apply so much force, it will cluck them upside the head a little bit. And y'all laugh and giggle and everybody get in trouble. But you learn, okay? Even how to throw it, what amount of force you had to put behind it, and so forth to perfect your accuracy, to perfect your accuracy. And people are so mindful of, not mindful, but what they call that, programmed to believing that only some big corporation can send a uh, a notice of default or uh, even make a claim. A lot of people don't even know they can make a claim themselves, a counterclaim against the person that's suing them. Uh, because we've gotten that one track mindset, not knowing it go both ways. Sometimes you throw that airplane and then somebody pick it up and throw it back at your ass. You understand? You gotta understand it go both ways. And so, likewise, if you want to learn and you know you're not learning nothing, then, like I said, when you said, well, mouse will tell you you stupid for listening to them, I don't know what they telling you you stupid, period, all right, to provoke you and keep drama going on their channel so they can get a lot of views. They like attention instead of they not teaching nobody nothing. Um, well, I've said this before. Men really can't teach you nothing. Not teach. They can summate some shit real well. Okay. But not really teach. That's why my papa used to say, go ask your granny. Because he knew she was going to put the effort in to actually teach you something. Not just because he was illiterate, but because he knew he didn't have the ability to teach you nothing much, you know. That was his understanding, but really I learned more from him just doing. And a lot of men don't understand they got women followers because the women is watching what you doing. Like that young lady, she copying off the man on Facebook. He got his pen and everything. He tell jokes and so forth, and he had you cracking up. He had his little pen and stuff. He write, acting like he writing down. He checking it off that he done already said that whatever he was gonna say, he check it off, or he at least acting like he checked it off. And so it's like a little skit, um, little checklist of reality checks, I call it. He don't call it that. He might start after I said that, but he don't call it that. But that's exactly what it is. Just a little reality check. Okay. All right, now, just during this broadcast, we got a couple of subscribers. Welcome. We now have 271 subscribers. Thank you and welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. But we finna go over this broadcast, but sometimes I like to give a little prelude to the presentation so you understand what's going on in the picture. When I was learning how to drive 18 wheelers, one of my trainers, see, a man can train, not teach. It's a difference. You can train, not teach. One of my trainers, he used to say all the time, I was not driving 18 wheelers at that time. Was going through the orientation to drive for the public transportation. Here we call it Metro and a Metropolitan Transit Authority. All right. But anyway, I was working for the public bus, driving the public bus. And they was teaching us how to drive the bus and everything. And we was learning how to drive the double, what the most common people call it a double bus, but the technical name for it is an articulator. All right, articulator. I had to slow that down so I can see it right because I get tongue. But he would let us know when we were in training to learn how to drive the articulator. He would let us know wherever you take the front of the body to, the tail ain't gonna follow. The only thing you have to do as far as adjusting your mind concerning driving it so that you're not afraid of driving it is you only driving the front. But make sure that when you cut a corner or something or you turning that you can look around and visibly see that you have enough space to make a full box turn, and then you should clear the corner and not, uh, you know, cause any infractions. And that goes to say in life, if you are trying to learn more and you notice that when you go to this person's channel, you're not learning nothing, that means they cutting corners, babe. They cutting corners. And they may be deliberately cutting them corners because they want you to pay for their class or whatever like that they got going on. Buy they stupid little e-books they made with AI. People don't realize a lot of the things that you making with AI is not your fucking property. It's not your property. That's the reason why I don't mind making them little shorts and shit with the AI. Because that ain't, I already understand that ain't really my property, no way. Yes, I originated the idea and I utilized the AI. But if inevitably I only approve what the AI came up with, then, I mean, because I know that's what most other people do. Uh, they just approve, they okay it and like, okay, that's good enough, and they go along with it. When I'm using I critique what it gave me back. Okay, I critique it, and so I would assume, and I could be wrong, but I would assume that um, because of the unique nature of the way I create documents, that I hold a large percentage of interest in that intellectual property, that video or instrument, okay, copyright of that instrument, because I didn't get the instrument itself from anyone else, and I am the one that initiated the creation of the instrument, and because I also tailor it to my unique proprietary methods and way of doing things. Okay. Um, what I mean by my unique way of doing things, a lot of times the AI would never produce what I had in my mind because my ideas are very unique. Okay. Uh, in their own uh, way, it's always gonna be unique. Like I do these broadcasts with the screen sharing option a lot, and you don't see people making these type of broadcasts. Um, you see people with demonstrations, but I have not seen people utilizing um, the screen sharing presentation uh, to present their whole channel. That's what we're doing currently, as well as in a little bit we're gonna uh, present somebody else's content, but with commentary. Um, yes, you see a lot of people doing that, but they got it off of me. That's my point, baby. That's my point. We're not copying off of them. They coughing off. We kids used to say, "Stop coughing off of me." They be coughing off of me. All right. Stop coughing off of me. Oh my! And I'm what's called a mimic, and that's a person that can uh, listen to your voice and duplicate it and act like people, their mannerisms and so forth and so on. As she would always say, she would tell me to act like other people, but when, and she laugh and giggle and everything, but when I do stuff she doing, a copy off of her, she didn't like that. She used to say, "Stop coughing off of me." Now, the difference between what many of them are doing, they just copying off of me. Okay, I'm not copying off of nobody. That's the difference. Also, like I said, my content be so unique because of my psyche, the mental purpose that goes behind what I'm doing. Okay, that when it's displayed, um, people like the uniqueness of it. Okay, and they cater to it. Hold on. You need a break job somewhere. All right. We're going to get started in this broadcast, but he's claiming, you see where it said the truth about something right there in the history. We finna click on that, see what he talking about. He finna give you the truth. Now, I'm gonna definitely make some comment because he's saying some stupid stuff. So that's what the whole purpose of this demonstration is, to tell you that if he has a university and don't know why people is trying to learn something, that's stupid.
Have you ever thought about starting your own recruiting business? There are three main reasons why recruiting is
Hendricks versus Maryland. These are the. All right, all right, all right. Peace, everyone. Yusufel here. Today, real quick, I'm going to go through a case on right to travel. I don't understand why there is such a big discussion about right to travel. This appears to me to be a situation where people are just basically publicly demonstrating that they don't have very good comprehension skills and very good reading skills as it relates to these cases. So I'm going to go over a Supreme Court case, Hendrick versus Maryland, what the Supreme Court has said on the situation. It doesn't matter what any of you say out in the echo
Mm.
chambers. This is what the
Wow. Okay. Now, if y'all didn't get that and how stupid that was, I don't know what to tell you, baby. I really don't know what to tell you, but this. He first started off by saying he don't know why people don't understand the right to travel. He said that. Now I'm gonna tell you how stupid that was first off the rip, that you don't understand why people is wanting to get some clarity on the established law that's provided to people teaching right to travel. Now, you're going to have a whole group of people that don't even know what that means off the rip. Okay, what are they talking about, right to travel? Do that mean you can fly somewhere or something? Are these people being kept off a plane? They ain't even thinking about if they not able to fly a plane, they could have took a bus. Or if they're not allowed on the bus, they could have took their own vehicle and drove to where they wanted to go. All right. So it's people that not at all even knowing what that means, because they not a part of your guru space, the sovereign citizens of America. They just scrolled up on the video. How about you just explain to the general audience in a manner that you do understand why they would be asking? How about they don't know nothing about that? All right, no case law or nothing. They don't even know what case law is. All right. So I don't understand what I don't understand. Why is a person who's claiming to be intelligent don't know anything that's as simple as why people ask questions? He got a problem with questions. Lord have mercy. This nigga got a problem with questions. I went on the channel. He ain't had no damn body going on that channel asking no questions because as soon as you ask him a question, he just go off on you. How you gonna teach somebody and anybody that will potentially buy your course may have some questions and you so mean and angry and rude to them? Hold on. You know, you so mean and angry and rude to them. They would be stupid to patronize your uh, business and put money in your pocket for somebody that's berating them on a daily basis. That's all his videos be these days. It's just a bunch of berating the audience. Now he been doing that, but he done got carried away with himself. He got them nut huggers that then got his confidence up, make him think he's so smart. Well, if only dumb people think you smart, how smart are you? You just sat up there and said how dumb and stupid they was. Okay, so if only dumb and stupid people is following you, then sure, surely you may be a little teeny, tiny bit smarter than them, at least a teeny bit, because they stupid and dumb. And I'm not equating that to whether they're literate or not. I'm saying it's stupid and dumb to keep following somebody that I've been stopped following them. When I realize the pattern, I go to his channel, and I had learned a little bit from there. So I was going there to learn more, see if it was worth me taking maybe one of his seminars or whatever they call it. And the more I listened to his videos, I realized all his videos, uh, he just sit up there and bash the audience. I was like, wait, the fuck? I didn't come here for that. Even if he wasn't bashing me, my point is, I didn't come here for that. I come to get information. I didn't come to watch you be stupid. I didn't come to watch you engage with what you consider as stupid questions. Okay? If you thought it was a stupid question, why are you even acknowledging it? What else could that make you but stupid? When you acknowledging the stupidity like it's valuable, that to me make you stupid. Okay? And so, like I said, I don't even want to indulge in this broadcast too far, but other than to show you in evidence my my claims, all right? Because I ain't gonna just tell you something based upon opinion alone. Even my opinions are educated opinions, meaning I put some thought into that. I didn't get my opinion from someone else and didn't even give their opinion any substantive pondering. You know, did I ponder what they were saying? Okay, to see if this might be true. They got this series of videos where it's an Oriental man, and just because he got his legs folded like he a monk or some shit, all he got to do is act like the movies, like the wise men in the movies, and people just think he's so smart they listen to everything he say. And I got noticed. I said, this motherfucker copping off of me too. What the hell? See, I ain't gonna patronize stuff too long without seeing the bullshit if there's some bullshit there. Now, people who let you know right off the rip that they got some bullshit for you. Now that I don't mind. Master will tell you straight up he got some bullshit for you. He may not say it specifically in that work using those words, but he will let you know that he coming with shenanigans, okay? And so that is stupid to consider what he's saying as being actual and factual when he already told you he didn't know what he was talking about, or he was coming with some bullshit, and you need to check see if he telling you the right thing or not. That's not his responsibility uh, to uh, fact check for you, all right? And so the other day, he came out with some shit about a fancy kind of trust he came up with, all right? And then, and so he just threw it out there. It was like a word he learned. He must have came across that word, didn't know what it was. He looked it up. And so he jumped his ass on YouTube and tried to act like he had some knowledge above you. And if you didn't know what he was talking about, uh, if you want to play semantics, he technically may have knew some shit we don't know. He knew some shit about that I don't know because I ain't looked that shit up. All right. Even after he said I didn't follow his lead because that sounded stupid anyway, what he was saying. And so I summated that I should not waste my motherfucking time looking up no shit he said look up. He looking up stuff I'm saying. What I look like looking up he's saying. When clearly he playing follow the leader and I'm the leader. All right. Now, if somebody come to my broadcast and they ask me a question I don't know the answer to, I will look it up from their, they provoke me to want to know the answer to that question, okay? And because I'm provoked not in a negative way, I'm provoked by the understanding that I do want to be knowledgeable about that particular thing, so I will look it up. But as far as looking it up because some dummy told me to look it up, and I don't even know if it has any relevance to what the hell I'm doing, then why would I just go look that up just because he said look it up? And he has already proven that he not too bright. That's why I said dummy. I don't mean to be mean. But I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm keeping it real, simple as it gets. If that person ain't too bright, that's what they used to call it in school. If they ain't too bright, then I'm not doing what they do. Um, I'm just not. Now that's how I handle my shit. You do yours like you do yours. That's just how I handle my learning and uh, what inspires me or motivates me to want to learn about different things. It may differ from how you learn or what you want to learn. That's your own personal choice, okay? So I ain't gonna tell you you're stupid for following them. I'm not gonna tell you you're stupid for listening to them. Perhaps you are learning from a place of not knowing anything. So listening to them may help you. It really would. Because at some point, they may be an hour and something into their hour and something long video before they get to anything that can teach you something. And that's my problem. The waste of all my time. That's too much time. Mm-mm. That's being wasted and I have not learned anything. Many times, if you listen to my videos and I do commentary before the video, you can learn something just in the commentary before I even start the presentation. That part. I'm not rambling on about some shit you can't learn from. And even in my videos where I proceed on my own, after I rewatch the video, whatever, see what kind of content, how I presented it, uh, did the audio come out? Because sometimes it be jumping in and out or whatever. I want to see what the content level, quality of the content is. And so if I can sit there and listen to my video an hour something long, I reasonably think in my mind, you know what? The people that's watching, this is what I say to myself, the people that's watching, they watching because they continually getting information the whole time. It's not like, oh Lord, I have to watch this hour long video. Ooh, and it's gonna be over or whatever. Because they're learning the whole time. You're gonna be learning something, okay? And I hope I ain't gonna say I hope because it's my choice of whether I want to give you bullshit or not, and I choose not to. Okay, but what I'm saying is, uh, if I miss some content that's out there that really don't teach nothing or tell you nothing significant, please let me know. I do not want that content even public. I want to probably delete it or archive it. All right, but take uh, that content off the channel that it doesn't have the subject matter is not covered on that channel. And I got over 50 channels. I can take it off of this channel and put it on another that is more applicable to the content niche on that channel, or subject on that channel. What are we discussing? What's occurring on that channel? And music channel, we got music related content, so forth, so on. Okay, thank you for joining me.
Supreme Court has said about it, and these are cases that you quote, and I don't understand why you're quoting them because they don't say what you think that they're saying. So Thompson versus Smith and Hendricks versus Maryland. These are like the two star cases that everybody likes to quote that says that you have a right to travel. So let's take some time to look at that and let's see whether or not these cases actually demonstrate whether you have a right to travel. And we're going to walk through it very slowly so people can understand what these cases actually say.
Why the hell aren't you telling senior homeowners they're eligible for low-cost home insurance?
Oh, you're talking about the homeowner protection policy. Yes, seniors will need to claim this before the...
I ain't finna do all them commercials, I know that. That's another thing. Not I.
Okay, so right here, oops, what happened? I just clicked off of it. Okay, there it goes. Okay, so right here we have Hendricks versus Maryland. I'm going to read this case for you. It's not a long decision, but I'm going to read it very slowly, and I'm going to go line by line to make sure that everybody understands what this case is saying. Okay, this is Hendricks versus Maryland, volume 235, U.S. Reporter, page 610. The year of publication is 1915. So it goes, it says, the movement of motor vehicles over highways being intended by constant and serious dangers to the public and also being abnormally destructive to the highways is the proper subject of police regulation by the state. So we're here, they're talking about how dangerous cars are and how cars destroy put wear and tear on the roads. So this is a proper subject of police regulation and the police powers of the state. I don't understand how anybody could misinterpret this. This is very clear what these people are saying. Very first line out the gate. Okay, it is the proper subject of police regulation. In the absence of national legislation covering this subject, a state may prescribe uniform regulations necessary for safety and order in respect to operation of motor vehicles on its highways, including those moving in interstate commerce. It doesn't say just cars moving in interstate commerce, in addition to cars moving in interstate commerce, that the state, in the absence of a national, meaning there aren't any national laws about traveling or driving an automobile or operating a motor vehicle or utilizing a conveyance, however you want to style it, it doesn't matter. Okay, that is the proper subject for police regulation. All right. A reasonable graduated license fee on motor vehicles when imposed on those engaged in interstate commerce does not constitute a direct and material burden on such commerce and render the act imposing such fee void under the Commerce Clause of the Federal Constitution. Here, they're just talking about interstate commerce. All right. Why? Because the government, they control interstate commerce and anything that materially affects interstate commerce, okay, they have authority over. So right here, the Supreme Court is saying that, hey, requiring a license doesn't affect interstate commerce. All right, so the federal government, this is their way of saying we're going to stay out of it. This is a state matter. It's not a federal matter. That's what that paragraph is talking about. It says a state may require registration of motor vehicles and a reasonable license fee is not unconstitutional as denial of equal protection of the laws because graduated according to the horsepower of the engine. Such a classification is reasonable. And you know, on the back of license to this day, they classify the different automobiles. How many axles do you have? Is it a truck? Is it a car? All these different things. You know, they classify these vehicles and you have to pay a tax or a license fee, a registration fee for the use of the roads. Registration is for the use of the roads. That's what you're paying for because they have to repair the roads, all right? And it's wear and tear on the roads. I'm in Dallas right now. The roads are horrible and they're fixing the roads right now. So everybody has to pay for their use of the public roads. That's what the registration is for. Not to tie you into some jurisdiction or something like that. They already have jurisdiction by just the simple fact that you're on the roads. But in using those roads, they want you to pay your fair share for the utilization of those roads. That's what it's for.
Sound like something I
A
said.
state which, at its own expense, furnishes special facilities for the use of those engaged in interstate and intrastate commerce may exact compensation, therefore, and if the charges are right, and they can furnish special.
No, it is not. No, it's not. He do not know what interstate or intrastate. It's not the government. It's a travel pass. When you are traveling locally, that's in your intrastate. Intrastate. That means within your state. Okay. When you reach the uh, state line, that's why they let you know when you reach in state line. And you usually reach state line traveling on an interstate infrastructure. In other words, on the highway, all right? That's the interstate, okay? Interstate, it say right there, Interstate 45, Interstate, the main interstates are the highways that lead to other states, okay? So he has no clue uh, what intrastate and interstate means. It has nothing to do with where you are specifically. It has to do with uh, the type of road surface that you're using, okay, and the path that it leads to. And those, because those would be the roads you would travel to uh, breach the boundaries, the imaginary boundaries that they have for each state, okay? It's not imaginary, it's calculated and so forth and so on, but it's imaginary to you because you don't know nothing about it, just like he don't know nothing about it and he talking about it like you do. Moving right along.
Commerce. All right. The action of the state in such respect must be treated as correct unless the contrary is made to appear. A state motor vehicle law imposing reasonable license fees on motors, including those of non-residents, does not interfere with rights of citizens of the United States to pass through the state. Crowder versus Nevada. The facts which involve the construction and constitutionality of certain provisions of the Motor Vehicle Law of Maryland and their application to citizens of the District of Columbia are stated in the opinion. Mr. Justice Reynolds delivered the opinion of the court. Plaintiff in error was tried before Justice of the Peace, Prince George's County, Maryland, upon a charge of violating the motor vehicle law. A written motion to quash the warrant because of conflict between the statute and the Constitution of the United States was denied. He was found guilty and fined. Thereupon, an appeal, and this man, he tried to say that the motor vehicle laws violated the Constitution, much of what y'all are saying today. All right, somebody made this challenge in 1915, the very same thing you are saying today. All right, and they denied it. They said a written.
And what he's not understanding is those were some illiterate people too that didn't understand the Constitution. They just recently started having studies for people to learn and understand constitutionality. Moving right along.
Motion to quash the warrant because of conflict between the statute and the Constitution of the United States was denied. He was found guilty and fined. Thereupon, an appeal was taken to the circuit court, the highest in the state having jurisdiction, where the cause stood for trial de novo. De novo means anew. They mean they're going to look at it and retry the whole thing from the beginning. Up on the original papers. It was there some.
Nope, that's not what it means. It's the mo novo mean strictly on marriage of the statute of applicability to the statute. That was done on their part. But they tricked him into thinking they was gonna actually uh, check the rules to see if they were wrong. He might have just had the understanding, the basic understanding that his liberties were being restricted. But that's the that's a case of constitutionality. They didn't even have that back then. You ain't had no lawyers really studied in constitutionality because we were big on common law way back then when he talking about. So I'm not gonna go no further than that because I don't need to. I know enough to understand he don't know what he talking about, and I don't want to listen to him any further. Because if you didn't know that, then you're not gonna read the case law within the confounds of the actual text, then that showed me you don't know how to properly cite a case. Because you got to know what grounds was that case being tried upon to know if it relates to your situation or not. Right off the rip, that was a Supreme Court or Superior Court case. And he was supposed to brought that case before the Superior Court because his uh, argument was based on constitutionality. But like I said, they probably didn't even have that then. Because when I watched the law school presentation where they teaching lawyers about constitutionality, many of the professors will say they didn't have this type of teaching when I was going through school. So you lucky to have this, okay, to begin with. And then what you must understand about the Constitution is that each state has its own constitution. And so if you're questioning does it violate federal law, why would you take it to the state district court? I'm done. Are they bound to conflict themselves and say that they have a rule that's unconstitutional? No, they are not. It's when people bring it to their attention and take it higher up and understanding that it is important enough to take it higher up is when the state will be found that whatever their constitution holdings are or whatever their procedures So statutes are it violates the rights of the constituents. The only way we have current case law is because somebody presented their case uniquely enough to make history and create precedents. You should need to know what precedence is, first of all. Why does he need to learn about precedence? Because precedence is created by the people, not by the law. He got the shit twisted. The uniqueness of your claim and how you presented it before the court sets a precedent of historical findings. And then the judges and they catch on and say, hey, this attorney really put that in a way where I do see it from their perspective now. And that makes plenty of sense. And they rule in their favor based on that, and they'll give what they call opinions, their own opinions about what they experienced in the demonstration of law practiced by the individual attorneys. Okay? And many times that occurs when that understanding is translated to a judge well after they have already practiced law in a different way. But once an attorney is able to properly give effective counsel, do their due diligence, like I said before, in the beginning of this broadcast, doing your due diligence means check the rule book. Okay? Does it require strict compliance, or is it unclear and ambiguous as to what that statute is referring to? And so, what he talking about is not how we go no way, because in trust state is within the jurisdiction of the state you in. Interstate is a federal road that passed through to uh, other jurisdictions, other states, okay, where you would then be required to abide by their state rules, which may differ, okay? When you come in Texas, they got signs on the side of the road say don't fuck with Texas. Not like that. It say don't mess with Texas, all right? Keep your trash wherever you come from. Don't bring your trash over here. That's not how we get out. That's a short way of saying that. And so they don't really like you littering. They don't appreciate that at all on the interstate. Okay, on the interstate or the interstate coming in. All right, intrastate is highways that don't pass through other states. They don't have the same numbers. This is how we have the differentiation in different highways so that you see and know and understand the different boundaries or perimeters that they have within the state. Okay, that's intrastate. Intrastate. Now, interstate is when you on that interstate that you may not be going to another state, but you do have to follow interstate rules. Okay, the federal rules that's been laid down, regardless. All right, they can hold you to interstate requirements, intrastate requirements, as well as interstate requirements if you on an interstate highway. Okay, some people, they may have in Dallas. I know they got a loop. Their loop is called 620, I think, and ours is called 610. Okay, that way you still in Texas, but you in another intrastate. Okay, and those boundaries and zones and perimeters are important for them to map out different jurisdictions, whether you're in the county, what county you in, so forth, so on. Okay, I believe that's all I want to go over for today because I don't want to give you too much information, overload you. But it's very important to know one thing out of everything I said in this broadcast is that uh, when people don't know what they talking about, all you got to do is ask a question and you will quickly find out that they do not know what they're talking about. Thank you for joining me.